Welcome to your deep dive. Today we are going to be looking at Islamic scholarship, and we're going to be going really deep with verses 31 to 63 of Surah Al-Baqarah,
Which is often called the cow.
often called the cow. Yes, and you've provided commentaries and interpretations from some really heavy hitters.
Oh, yeah.
Like Ibn Kathir and Ibn Abbas.
Yeah, they're the big ones.
It's like we have like a direct line to these brilliant minds across centuries.
It's amazing, isn't it?
We're not just reading,
Yeah.
we're engaging in a dialogue about the deeper meanings of these verses.
Okay, so I have to ask right off the bat, the cow. Like, seriously.
Right.
I'm picturing mooing, interrupting a profound religious discussion.
Well, the name comes from a story that we'll get to, but don't be fooled.
Okay.
This surah is vast,
All right.
touching on everything from faith and law to stories of prophets and guidance for believers.
I'm already intrigued.
Good.
So where do we even begin with such a dense topic?
Let's start at the beginning with the story of Adam, the first human. Okay. The verses describe Allah teaching Adam the names of all things.
Right.
It's a demonstration of his knowledge and intellect surpassing even the angels.
And then it's like this command that really sets things in motion.
Mm-hmm.
Allah commands the angels to prostrate before Adam.
Yes.
It's such a powerful image.
It is.
And one that leads to some major consequences, right?
Absolutely. One being Iblis,
Mhm.
often referred to as Satan,
Yeah.
refuses to bow down.
Wow.
This act of defiance results in his expulsion from Allah's presence
Yeah.
and is seen as the origin of arrogance and rebellion against Allah's will.
You know what always strikes me about this story is that Iblis wasn't actually an angel.
Right.
Like, he was just imitating them, trying to fit in.
Yeah.
So it makes his refusal even more interesting. Was it purely pride, or was there some deeper insecurity that was driving his actions?
It's a fascinating question.
Yeah.
It adds a whole new dimension to the story, doesn't it?
Totally.
Iblis's defiance highlights the importance of sincerity and understanding the true nature of our actions.
So it's not just blindly following,
Right.
but it's about recognizing the authority behind the command.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And speaking of actions and their consequences, the story of Adam and Hawwa, Eve, peace be upon them in paradise, really resonates with me.
Yes.
You know, one of our sources mentions Adam's hair getting caught in a tree in paradise after eating from the forbidden tree.
Oh, wow.
And then he becomes acutely aware of his nakedness.
Right.
It's kind of a funny image, you know, this strong, powerful Adam running away shyly from Allah.
There's something very human in that, isn't there?
Totally.
It reminds us that even prophets are not infallible.
Yeah.
They make mistakes, experience shame and regret, and seek forgiveness.
Right.
And these very human experiences help us connect to these figures from ancient times.
It's almost comforting to know that even those chosen by Allah
Right.
make mistakes
Mm.
and seek his mercy.
Yeah.
So their journey becomes a guide for our own,
Yes.
encouraging us to seek forgiveness and learn from our own missteps.
Absolutely.
Now, from this intimate setting of paradise, our sources shift to a grander narrative, the children of Israel's exodus from Egypt with Prophet Musa, Moses, peace be upon him.
It's quite a shift, isn't it?
That is, yeah.
We go from the tranquility of paradise to the dramatic escape from Pharaoh, the parting of the sea. It's a reminder of Allah's power and the extraordinary events woven into history.
Yeah, and yet, even after witnessing such miracles, the sources describe the children of Israel creating and worshiping a golden calf, while Prophet Musa, peace be upon him, was away receiving the Ten Commandments.
Yeah.
It seems almost unbelievable that after experiencing such divine intervention, they would stray so quickly.
It speaks to the complexity of human nature, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We're prone to doubt and temptation even after witnessing incredible displays of divine power.
Right.
Their story serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us to remain steadfast in our faith
Okay.
and resist those urges that lead us away from Allah's path.
And get this, the sources point out that this incident with the golden calf happened on a Friday. You know, traditionally a holy day.
Really?
It makes you wonder about the significance of specific days and rituals across different faiths.
That's a great observation.
Yeah.
It reminds us that the concept of sacred time is woven into the fabric of many religions.
Yeah.
Perhaps it's a way to mark certain events or create a space for deeper spiritual connection.
I like that.
It definitely invites further exploration.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we arrive at the story that gives this surah its peculiar name, the cow.
Yes.
The children of Israel are commanded by Allah to sacrifice a cow with very specific traits.
Right.
But instead of simply obeying, they start questioning Prophet Musa, peace be upon him, about every little detail.
It's a classic case of making things more complicated than they need to be.
Real?
Their constant questioning reveals a reluctance to fully submit to Allah's will.
Yeah.
They focus on the specifics instead of the bigger picture,
Yeah.
highlighting the danger of letting doubt cloud our judgment.
It's as if they're saying, we'll obey, but only if it meets our very specific criteria.
Right.
It makes you wonder about the role of ego and the desire for control in our own spiritual journeys, doesn't it?
That's a profound insight.
Yeah.
Their reluctance to sacrifice the cow mirrors our own internal struggles with surrender and acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's easier to get caught up in the details than to trust in the divine wisdom guiding our path.
It's a powerful reminder that true faith often requires us to let go of our need to control and to simply trust in Allah's plan.
Exactly.
And this theme of trust and surrender leads us directly into the next section, where the sources delve into the importance of patience and prayer for believers.
Exactly. These verses offer profound insights into the challenges and rewards of maintaining a strong connection with Allah.
Right.
It's not always easy,
Right.
but the benefits are immeasurable.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fascinating how these verses connect the challenges of the children of Israel to our own struggles with faith.
Yeah, it's like they're like this prototype for the believer's journey,
Exactly.
highlighting those universal pitfalls we all encounter.
Yeah.
And speaking of pitfalls, the story continues with their constant questioning of Prophet Musa, peace be upon him.
Oh, yeah.
They're instructed to sacrifice a cow, but they keep asking all these questions, making the task way harder than it needs to be.
Right.
What do you think was going on in their minds?
I think it boils down to a lack of trust,
Oh.
a desire to control the situation rather than surrendering to Allah's will. They fixate on all the little details.
Yeah.
The color of the cow, its age,
Right.
instead of focusing on the deeper meaning behind the commandment.
It reminds me of how we sometimes complicate our own lives by overthinking and overanalyzing everything instead of taking that leap of faith.
Absolutely.
We get so bogged down in the how that we lose sight of the why.
Precisely. And their questioning wasn't limited to the cow.
Oh, really?
The verses describe a group demanding to see Allah plainly despite Prophet Musa, peace be upon him, explaining that it's just not possible.
It's like demanding a scientific explanation for a spiritual experience.
Yeah.
They wanted tangible proof, a visual confirmation of something that transcends the physical realm.
And their demand for proof leads to a rather dramatic consequence.
What's that?
They're struck by lightning and die only to be resurrected by Allah,
Oh, wow.
as a reminder of his power and his mercy.
But even after witnessing this incredible miracle, some sources suggest they still hesitated to fully accept the commandments.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It really makes you think.
Yeah.
Is true faith about witnessing the extraordinary, or is it about trusting, even when we don't fully understand?
Their reaction highlights a profound truth.
What's that?
True faith isn't about seeking physical proof or demanding miracles.
Yeah.
It's about cultivating a deep trust in the unseen, a willingness to submit to a higher power even when it challenges our understanding.
It's a humbling thought, realizing that our human need for control can actually hinder our spiritual growth.
Yes.
Sometimes the greatest act of faith is simply letting go and trusting in Allah's plan.
Now, the story of the children of Israel continues with a mix of blessings and trials. Okay.
They're given manna and quail to eat shaded by clouds in the desert. Sounds idyllic, right?
That's pretty good, yeah.
But even in the midst of this abundance, they find ways to complain.
Wait, seriously, they were complaining about the taste of manna.
Yes.
The food miraculously provided for them in the desert.
It's a striking example of human ingratitude, isn't it?
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
They become accustomed to Allah's blessings and start taking them for granted,
Yeah.
longing for something different instead of appreciating what they have.
It's a reminder to cultivate gratitude in our own lives, to appreciate the blessings we often overlook.
Absolutely.
Sometimes a shift in perspective is all it takes to recognize the abundance that surrounds us.
And this theme of recognizing blessings connects beautifully with another point emphasized in the sources remembering Allah's favors.
Okay.
He reminds the children of Israel of his past actions, saving them from Pharaoh, parting the sea, providing sustenance in the desert.
Like looking back on a challenging time in our lives and realizing how we overcame it.
Right. It strengthens our belief in our own resilience
Mm-hmm.
and reminds us of the support we receive sometimes from unexpected sources.
And this act of remembering serves a dual purpose.
Okay.
It's not just about acknowledging past favors, but also about motivating the children of Israel to embrace the truth that has been revealed to them.
So this is where we start delving into the core message of these verses.
Exactly.
The call to embrace Islam and follow the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him.
The verses encourage the children of Israel to follow this guidance, which confirms what they already have in the Torah and the Gospel.
Okay.
It's presented as a continuation of the message revealed to previous prophets, a fulfillment of their scriptures.
But there's a warning, too.
Yes.
They're told not to be the first to disbelieve, implying serious consequences for rejecting this message.
Right.
It seems like a crucial turning point in their story, a moment where they have to choose their path.
And they're specifically cautioned against distorting or concealing the truth.
Yeah.
It emphasizes the importance of intellectual honesty and integrity, particularly when it comes to matters of faith.
It's a reminder that we have a responsibility to seek truth, to understand it, and to share it in a way that's both accurate and respectful.
Yes.
We can't manipulate it for our own benefit or try to silence those who hold different views.
Beautifully said. Alongside this call to uphold the truth, they're instructed to perform specific acts of worship. Prayer, giving zakat, bowing down with those who bow down.
It's a call to action, urging them to join the community of believers and participate in rituals that strengthen faith and create a sense of belonging.
Right.
It highlights the communal aspect of Islam, the importance of supporting one another on our spiritual journeys.
And it's not just about outward actions.
Okay.
These verses also offer a powerful critique of hypocrisy.
Right.
The children of Israel are admonished for preaching righteousness while neglecting to practice it themselves.
It's that classic saying, actions speak louder than words.
Exactly.
It's a challenge for all of us to ensure that our outward behavior aligns with our inner beliefs.
We can't just talk the talk. We have to walk the walk.
Precisely. And this emphasis on sincerity and action leads us back to the theme we touched on earlier, the importance of patience in prayer and overcoming challenges.
Right.
The verses emphasize that prayer can be challenging, even heavy and burdensome at times,
Yeah.
but it's presented as a vital source of strength and guidance, especially for those who are truly devout.
This concept of prayer as both a challenge and a source of comfort is something so many people can relate to. It requires discipline and surrender,
Yeah.
but it also offers solace, connection, and a path to navigate life's difficulties.
And alongside prayer, the verses emphasize the importance of patience in adhering to Allah's commands, even when they're difficult to understand or seem inconvenient.
Right.
It's about trusting the process and having faith in the ultimate outcome, even if we can't see it in the moment.
This concept of patience is especially relevant in today's world, where instant gratification and immediate results are often prioritized.
Cultivating patience in our spiritual journeys is a powerful antidote to the anxieties and pressures of modern life.
Absolutely.
It's about recognizing that growth and transformation take time.
Yes.
It's a journey, not a destination.
Exactly.
And this deep dive through these verses has certainly highlighted that journey with all its twists, turns, and challenges.
It has.
It's amazing how these ancient stories still resonate so deeply with our own lives today.
Absolutely. And as we approach the final part of our exploration, I'm curious to hear what thoughts or questions are emerging for you. What aspects of these verses are prompting further reflection?
Well, one thing that's really sticking with me is the repeated emphasis on the consequences of disbelief
Okay.
and the importance of submitting to Allah's will.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder about the concept of free will and the choices we make.
Right.
Do we have the power to choose our path, or is everything predetermined?
That's a profound question, and one that has been debated by theologians and philosophers for centuries.
Yeah.
Perhaps the next part of our deep dive will offer some insights or perspectives on this complex topic.
The question of free will versus divine decree is a real head-scratcher.
It is.
It's like trying to figure out where our own choices end and Allah's plan begins.
It's a complex theological puzzle, but one that these verses address in subtle ways.
Okay.
Remember how the children of Israel are constantly presented with choices to obey or disobey, to trust or to doubt?
Right.
It suggests a degree of agency, a capacity to shape their own destiny.
That's true. And their story isn't just a neutral narrative. It highlights the consequences of those choices.
Right.
They experience both blessings and hardship rewards for their good deeds and repercussions for their transgressions.
Yes.
It's like a cosmic balance sheet weighing their actions and determining the outcome.
And that balance sheet isn't just for the children of Israel.
Right.
Their story serves as a cautionary tale for us as well. We, too, are faced with choices every day, opportunities to align our actions with our beliefs, to choose patience over impatience, gratitude over complaint.
So are we saying that our choices matter, that we have the power to influence our fate?
I think these verses point towards a delicate balance between free will and divine decree.
Okay.
Allah has set a plan, but within that plan, we have the capacity to choose our path.
Right.
Our choices have consequences shaping our journey and leading us towards different outcomes.
It's a reassuring thought knowing that our efforts to live righteously aren't in vain,
Yeah.
but it also adds a layer of responsibility.
Right.
Knowing that our choices matter, that we're not simply puppets on a string, motivates us to strive for goodness and seek Allah's guidance in every decision.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this brings us to a story that really emphasizes the importance of intentionality. The story of the Sabbath breakers.
Oh, yes, the folks who were forbidden from fishing on the Sabbath but found a loophole.
They devised clever traps and nets to catch fish without technically breaking the letter of the law. But their actions were a clear violation of the spirit of the law.
Yeah.
An attempt to deceive both Allah and themselves.
Like when we try to justify bad behavior by twisting the rules or finding technicalities,
Right.
we might fool ourselves temporarily, but ultimately our true intentions are revealed.
And the consequences for the Sabbath breakers were severe.
Oh, wow.
They were transformed into apes as punishment for their dishonesty and deceit.
It's a stark reminder that we can't outsmart Allah.
Right.
We can't manipulate or bend the rules to suit our own desires.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we're accountable for the choices we make, the intentions behind our actions.
This story highlights a crucial aspect of faith sincerity.
Okay.
It's not enough to simply go through the motions of rituals or follow the letter of the law. Our hearts must be engaged.
Yeah.
Our intentions must be pure.
It's about aligning our outward actions with our inner beliefs, striving for authenticity and integrity in all aspects of our lives.
Yes.
We're called to be true to ourselves and true to our commitment to Allah.
Beautifully said. And this emphasis on sincerity and intention connects with another key theme woven throughout these verses, the importance of seeking knowledge and understanding. The verses encourage us to contemplate the signs of Allah's creation, to reflect on the stories of the prophets, to ponder the deeper meaning behind the divine message.
It's not just about blindly accepting or memorizing verses, but about understanding their meaning, their context, their relevance to our own time.
It's about cultivating a curious and inquisitive mind, a thirst for knowledge that deepens our understanding of ourselves, our purpose, and our connection to the divine.
This deep dive has certainly been an exercise in seeking knowledge and understanding.
It has.
We've explored the layers of meaning within these verses, uncovering historical context, examining different interpretations, and reflecting on the impact they have on our own lives.
Yeah.
It's been a truly enriching experience.
It's been a journey of discovery, a reminder that the pursuit of knowledge is a lifelong endeavor.
Yeah.
And these verses are just a starting point.
They're an invitation to continue learning, to delve deeper into Islamic scholarship, to engage in meaningful conversations about faith and spirituality.
Yes.
It's inspiring to think that this deep dive is just the beginning of a much larger exploration.
We encourage you to continue on this path of discovery.
Okay.
Reflect on what you've learned, explore these verses further, and keep seeking knowledge with a sincere and open heart.
Remember, the journey of understanding is a lifelong pursuit.
It is.
The insights we gain along the way have the power to transform our lives and bring us closer to Allah.
They do.
Thank you for joining us on this incredible deep dive.
May Allah guide us all towards greater knowledge, wisdom, and understanding.